Hey guys, welcome back to Inverted Adventures RC, and we are moving on to the next episode of the Team Associated B74.1d four-wheel drive buggy build. Check it out. Alright guys, welcome back to Inverted Adventures RC. I'm Richard, and this is going to be episode 6. We're going to do bag 6 on the Team Associated B74.1d four-wheel drive electric off-road buggy kit. Last time, if you tuned in, we put the front and rear gearboxes with the shock towers and the rear wing mount together and then mount them to the chassis. Today we're going to move on to bag 6, which is all of the front steering pieces and the body mounts, it looks like. So we are going to jump right in. This is a quick 4 steps. Not a whole lot of parts and pieces, not a whole lot of bolts, so this should not be a super long episode. Alright, so we are going to jump into step 1. Step 1, you're going to take the steering rack, and I already went ahead. Oh, they're going to fall out, so maybe I won't. You're going to need 4 of the, what size are these? 4 by 7 by 2.5 millimeter bearings. It's pretty self-explanatory. They're the only ones that slide into these holes, so you're going to put 2 in the bottom, 2 in the top. And then what you're going to do is take these hat bushings, slide them in from the bottom, and they're going to slide right through the center of both of those bearings. So they'll be pushed in from the bottom. And then you're going to take 2 of your ball studs. There's 3 ball studs. Whoops, actually there are 2 different sizes here, so make sure you grab the right one. Let's see if I can tell which one's which. Okay, so the difference is the shaft is a little shorter, so there's a 6 millimeter and 2 8 millimeters. So you're going to take the 2 8 millimeter studs, and there are these 2 little bushings that come with those, and you're going to slide that onto the shaft itself. So you're going to slide it on there like that, and then these are going to run up. They want you to put these in the, there's 2 holes on either end. They want you, first with some Loctite, just a dab of Loctite on there. They want you to thread those into the hole closest to those, whoops, a little bit of hair off of my table there. Thread them into the hole closest to the bearings. Now, you might need to move them later on for some adjustments, but you'll have to run it and figure out whether that needs done or not. But for now, thread them in there just like the directions. And like I've said it in the other videos, and I will say it again in this, I'm building it just as the directions want me to build it. That is how Trevor wanted me to build it, so that's how we're going to build it. Give them a little snug in there. Don't go too crazy. Excuse me. Don't get too carried away. Don't go too crazy. Get my bit out of there. Alright, so make sure you don't lose any of the bearings or the hat bushings. But that is going to be your steering rack. Alright, so now that I found a little hat bushing that slides in there, I'm going to keep my fingers over top of my workbench, which I should always do anyway. You are going to take your steering Bellcrank input arm, and I have already, again, slid the bushings in here because I want to make sure I found the right ones. It's self-explanatory. You need 4 of that size. Actually, you don't do that yet. That's the next step, but I'll show it now anyway. You need 4 of that size. They're the only ones that fit in there, so that's not a big deal. You are going to take this, flip it so the longer part is facing up, and like that part is down. And then you're going to take this and make sure the longer, it's kind of odd shaped, but this, if you're looking at it evenly, this side's shorter, this side's longer. The longer side is going to go to the right if you're holding it like this. So you're going to take that. There's 2 2.5 by 8. They're going to be the thinner of the bolts that you have. They're going to go, and they're probably 1.5 tips. So we're going to swap out our bit. They are what is going to run that Bellcrank input arm down into the left Bellcrank here. So snug them down. And again, you're going to have it ended up looking like this. So working with this so that the taller part of the shaft is sticking up and the longer part of the carbon fiber piece is to the right. And then you're going to take your last ball stud, which is the shorter shaft ball stud, from the top. It'll go down into that carbon fiber piece, and then you have another M3 lock nut that's going to go on from the bottom. Swap back to your 2.5 bit or use your bit driver. Get your nut driver and just carefully snug that down. So there you have your left bell crank, and like I said earlier, get your bearings for the right bell crank. And what you're going to do, you're going to take that piece, and you're going to take this piece, and you are going to take your steering rack, and with the numbered side up and the ball studs down, this is going to go over top of that side. Oh, actually I did that wrong. So you're going to take the end, the end with the screw hole. You're going to take your longer, they're going to be 3x16s, and they are going to go down through that hat bearing, or a hat bushing, and those bearings. And all that's going to run down in together. Whoops, I'm dropping parts again. Alright, so now that I'm done fighting with that piece, you are going to have this piece with the ball stud to the left and your other one to the right. I'm just going to snug them down with these ones so I don't get carried away. The hat bushing should prevent you from over tightening this. Both sides should flop around pretty freely and not too much up and down play in there. So once you have that, you're going to take your steering posts, which are these two right here. They came in the same package as the steering rack itself. And you're going to take your two flathead 3x8s. So these are going to go over top of these two front holes. We're going to find out the easiest way to do this. So take these two, give them a little bit of Loctite. Slap them in those holes there. And if you put your finger over top of them, you should be able to flip it over and start those posts. Spin them down till they're about snug. Do the same with this side. And then from underneath, you can take your driver and just snug them up. So there we have your steering assembly itself put together, and now your steering posts on. And then what you're going to do, make sure this is centered here. You're going to take this so that this little triangle here is facing the front of the car, and you are going to slide that. Oops, you're going to have to do it at the same time. Slide them on there, and there is your steering rack all put together. So the last part of bag 6, once you have your bell crank all put together, you're going to put the body mount, which is this, I guess, that's what it says it is. You're going to take, you should have two 3x8s left and two 3x2s. Now the front is much wider than the rear. So you're going to take this and you're going to position it so that the rounded part is facing towards the front of the vehicle. So it's going to go on there like that. And then these screws, well, these are recessed in here. So you'll drop that down in there and drop down that one down in there. And then those will sit in top of those steering posts. And that is what is going to hold your bell crank assembly down on those shafts so it won't come off. So there we go. We got the steering rack set up there. You're going to take the other one, and the same thing, the rounded part's going to face the front, so they're both going to be facing the same direction. These are your shorter 3x6 screws. Drop them down in there. They are going to sit on the two holes on the end of your mounts that you put your gearbox and your steering rack together with. So they're going to snug down into those holes there. Oop, guess I didn't line it up right. There we go. So snug that down. Double check this one. We're going to hop back to the front and check those two. And that is going to be it for bag 6. So we got the Bellcrank assembly put together and the front and rear body mounts. And we are moving right along. So that is going to be it for video 6. This is going to be a short, sweet one. The next 2 will probably be a little bit longer because they are assembling the steering knuckles and the hubs and putting the axle shafts in. So that's going to be a little bit more detailed. So they will be definitely longer than this one. Hopefully they don't run on for too long. But next time we will have bag 7 and then bag 8. And then we will move on to steering links and center diff and all that fun technical stuff. Building shocks and mounting this stuff up. So thanks for watching, guys. Like it if you like the video. This is going to get added to the playlist. And same thing I've said in all the other ones. If you want to continue to follow this build, I appreciate it if you subscribe. Share it with anybody you know that might want to watch the B74.1d kit get assembled. I'm having a lot of fun. This is going to be the first build series video I did like this. I'm enjoying it. It's making me think a lot more about what I'm doing while I'm putting it together. And I'm having fun building it. So I really appreciate Trevor letting me take this and put it together for him. Again, I hope it runs well for him when it's finished, but only time will tell with that. So thanks again for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, share this to somebody. Enjoy your RCs, enjoy the holiday season. The last episode I mentioned that it's been kind of hectic, so that's why it's been a couple days, or actually a couple weeks between episode 4 and episode 5. Episode 6, this should be right after episode 5, and the day or two following that. So hopefully we continue to move along pretty well. I hate to anybody that's following this and building one at home. I hate to have gone almost 2 weeks without putting anything out for you if you were following me. I mean, I'm sure you can figure it out by yourself, but anybody that was following my steps, sorry for that. But again, thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, it's Richard from Inverted Adventures RC, and I will see you later.